Hey folks, back again with ancient cosmography. Um, so, I was showing how the 20,000-year-old French Lascaux, uh, the Lascaux thing is the famous scene at Lascaux is a map of the Southwest Pacific Islands, and that all the gods in it are aligned pretty exactly with cardinal directions. So Australia is aligned with south as up. Papua and the Philippines, Taiwan, Sulawesi god are aligned with west as up, and Busuanga is aligned with north as up. And then these other kind of, bits, the Atlatl and the pole here, Lesser Sundas and Palawan, are northeast, or oriented with northeast as up. And so I think that could have a significance, that, maybe because Australia is the furthest south. I mean, even its name means southern land or whatever. Austra means like southern in, Latin or something. So, but it could even be that, and like Palawan is oriented to the north, and it's represents, or blocks the northern strait of the two major straits. But I also thought it's interesting that for Australia, its head seems to be, it's like has this bison head with the horns, and its head is kind of pointing down, tucked in a little bit, and it's in this area. So it seems to be that it represents, just as in the later Egyptian maps where they would zoom in on certain features like this, Torilla Peninsula as the face, Warrnambool Peninsula as the front horn, or the bottom horn, and Camp Island right here as the other horn, the top horn, that one. And so, but it's interesting to me that the Tropic of Capricorn goes straight through his head, basically, or straight between his face and this other horn. So it could be that he is actually associated with Capricorn, with the Tropic of Capricorn, or maybe with the constellation of Capricorn. And, Capricorn is a horned animal, or it's often represented as a horned animal, but I think usually a goat or something, but perhaps in its early incarnations, it may have been a bison, a horned bison. And it's interesting that also the Tropic of Cancer runs right through Taiwan. So you have the whole kind of gamut of stuff here, like, this might be the back legs. All right, my phone cuts me off very early nowadays, so be warned. But so there's a chance that the back legs here, instead of being Cape Range here and Dampier Peninsula there, could actually be up here, back up here. I was thinking this was too high up to be it, but who knows? You know, it could be these two little legs here, or his back legs being, you know, I guess it's Harrison Prong. This is called Harrison Prong, and then this is called Perone Peninsula. It's kind of Perong and Prone. Perone and Prong. And then the major city here is called Useless Loop. There's a lot of these shitty like names that were all just, you know, given by Western explorers and stuff because they just they're like, oh, some garbage island, fuck it all. And then they just like kept that name, and that's the name of their town. And then like Westerners called this Sharks Bay or whatever, whereas the natives called it, and then they it's totally confused of whether this whole thing is Sharks Bay or just this, whereas the natives called the whole thing the Two Waters. So it's like native nomenclature is so much better than fucking colonial nomenclature, if you give a shit about like actual meanings and like logic. See, so this shows how the Lesser Sundas are orientated with northeast as up. You know, here's north. So this is northeast. So we see that they are you know, that it's diagonal like that. So there you go. It's like and so that's the same as Palawan, of course, because Palawan is also orientated the same way. And I had some other thing to show, but I think it's going to cut me off before I can find anything. I think Nanga Bay is on the Perone Peninsula, so that's one of those possible legs. And so yeah, this shows how the Lesser Sundas are pretty much exactly east to west, so it has to be at a northwest angle to have them diagonal. They're right there between Australia and Sulawesi, basically. And Useless Loop Shark Bay Peninsula. So yeah, they're originally called Two Waters. Actually made sense because there's two bays there. But modern Australian nomenclature is fucking stupid. There's like 5 islands in Australia called Long Island. There's 2 peninsulas called York. And there's like 3 places called, what was the other one?